Ready for a deep dive? Today we're going way back in time to ancient Babylon,
Oh, yeah.
exploring timeless financial wisdom from the book The Richest Man in Babylon.
Okay.
We've got 3 articles and a YouTube video breaking down these lessons,
I'm interested.
applying them to today's world.
Which sounds fascinating.
So get ready to level up your financial game.
All right.
It's amazing how these ancient principles are still relevant even in our modern financial world.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how much human behavior has stayed the same, even after thousands of years.
Let's start with the first lesson.
Okay.
Start thy purse to fattening.
Okay.
This might sound simple,
Right.
but paying yourself first is like a psychological hack.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead of saving whatever's left over,
Mm-hmm.
you prioritize your future self by setting aside money before you spend on anything else.
It's like automating good financial behavior.
Right, almost like tricking yourself into saving.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of automation, in the YouTube video, Nisha talked about setting up automatic transfers to her savings account.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that something you would recommend?
Totally. It takes the decision-making out of it. You decide once, set it up, and you're consistently saving without even thinking about it. It's a classic commitment device.
But how much should someone aim to save? Is that ancient 10% rule still realistic in our economy today?
Well, 10% is a good starting point.
Okay.
But the key is consistency, not really any magic number. Start with what's manageable for you, even if it's just 5%, and then gradually increase it when you get raises or bonuses.
So we're paying ourselves first and watching our savings grow.
Exactly.
But then there's the whole control the expenditures thing,
Yeah.
which, honestly, I think we could all use a refresher on.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's so easy to fall into that trap of lifestyle creep.
Oh, tell me about it.
Yeah.
When I first started making decent money,
Yeah.
I felt like I deserved to treat myself more,
Mm.
more dinners out, nicer clothes, everything. But my bank account did not agree.
That's a classic example of how our needs can expand to match our income. The book really makes us look at our spending and figure out what's a true need versus a disguised want.
Right. It's about being mindful, not about depriving ourselves.
Exactly.
In the video, Nisha talked about noticing how often she was eating out or using ride-sharing apps.
Oh, right.
It wasn't about cutting those things out completely, but just becoming more aware of how much those small expenses were adding up.
It's all about awareness and making conscious choices.
Definitely. And it's interesting that while The Richest Man in Babylon is all about frugality,
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you to live a life of total deprivation.
Right. It's about finding that balance.
Which brings us to this seemingly contradictory lesson. Enjoy life while you can.
Okay.
Because what's the point of building all this wealth if you're not enjoying the journey along the way?
Yeah, good question.
This reminds me of that die with zero idea,
Yeah.
which encourages people to spend their money on experiences
I've heard of that.
and enjoy life to the fullest.
Yeah.
There has to be some balance.
For sure, die with zero might be extreme for some people, but the core idea is sound.
Okay.
You can plan for the future and savor the present. You don't have to pick just one.
So how do we find that sweet spot between saving for tomorrow and living for today?
One thing you could try is budgeting for both. Put aside a portion of your income for savings and investments, and another for things you enjoy.
Oh, like separate categories in your budget.
Exactly. Nisha mentioned having a fun money category.
Oh, right.
That lets her enjoy those little luxuries without feeling guilty or messing up her financial goals.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really helpful way to find that balance.
So we're paying ourselves first, controlling our spending, but also making sure we're still enjoying life.
It's all about finding that sweet spot.
That's a great foundation for building long-term wealth.
Definitely. And that's where the next set of lessons come in. The Richest Man in Babylon shows us how to actually make our money work for us.
Yeah, finding that balance is key. But that's actually where the next set of lessons from The Richest Man in Babylon come in.
Oh, perfect timing then.
Making your money work for you.
Okay, so we've talked about controlling spending,
Right.
but now it's time to look at how we can actually grow our wealth.
Exactly.
And lesson 4 is all about making thy gold multiply. Which brings us to investing.
You got it.
Yeah.
The book makes a clear distinction between just saving money
Okay.
and actively investing it. You can't just stash cash in a savings account.
Right.
You need to put that money to work.
But investing can feel so intimidating, especially with all the jargon
Yeah, it can be.
and conflicting advice out there.
Definitely. It's important to find trusted sources.
The book actually uses the example of investing $1,000 a year in the S&P 500, right?
It does.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure. The S&P 500 is basically a collection of 500 of the biggest companies in the U.S.
Okay.
So when you invest in an S&P 500 index fund,
Yeah,
you're buying a tiny piece of all those companies.
makes sense.
The idea is that over time, the stock market usually goes up and your investment grows along with it.
But isn't that risky? What if the market crashes?
Well, yeah, every investment has some risk,
Mm-hmm.
but historically, the stock market has gone up over the long term.
Mm.
And as we talked about, time is your best friend.
Right, right.
The longer you're invested, the more time you have to kind of ride out those market ups and downs
Yeah.
and benefit from the power of compounding.
Compounding.
Yeah.
Remind me how that works again.
So imagine you invest $1,000
Yeah.
and you get a 10% return.
Okay.
The next year, you have $1,100. If you earn another 10%,
Yeah.
you're earning that on the whole $1,100, not just the original $1,000.
So it's like earning interest on your interest.
It is. It's this snowball effect that can really boost your returns over time.
The earlier you start investing, the bigger that snowball gets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that leads us to Lesson 5, ensuring a future income.
The Richest Man in Babylon tells this story about a camel trader
Yeah.
who lived really well but didn't plan for later in life.
Oh, no.
When he couldn't work anymore,
Yeah.
he had to rely on others to support him.
Ouch. That doesn't sound like a fun retirement.
Not really, right?
Yeah.
So we need to think beyond just what we're earning now and plan for those what-if moments.
What if you can't work anymore? What if I want to retire early?
Exactly. It's not just saving for retirement. It's also about having other sources of income.
Which is where Lesson 6 comes in, right?
You got it.
Increase thy ability to earn.
Mm-hmm.
This really challenges the idea of a fixed income.
It does. It's easy to feel stuck in a job that doesn't pay well or offer much growth.
Definitely.
But the Richest Man in Babylon wants us to think differently,
Okay.
to look for ways to earn more.
So it's not just about saving more from what you already have.
Right.
It's about finding ways to actually make more money.
Exactly. That could mean learning new skills, getting a side hustle, or starting a business.
Wow. So many possibilities.
There are. It could even just mean asking for a raise at your current job.
Yeah, that's true.
The point is to be proactive.
Take control of your own earning power.
Exactly.
Taking control like that is so empowering. But as we start making more, we also have to learn how to protect it.
You got it.
Right.
That's actually what the last set of lessons from The Richest Man in Babylon are all about.
Okay.
Protecting what you've earned.
This is where things get really interesting because we're getting into the psychology of investing
Oh, yeah, totally.
and decision-making.
It's fascinating how human behavior hasn't changed much over time.
Right.
We're still falling for the same traps that got people back in ancient Babylon.
Lesson 7 is guard thy treasures from loss.
Okay?
And I think the story of Arad and the fake jewels really illustrates that.
It really does. Arad wanted to get rich quickly.
Yeah.
So he fell for a scam and ended up losing a ton of his savings.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's a reminder that chasing big returns without thinking about the risks can be disastrous.
Yeah.
You have to remember that protecting what you already have is just as important as trying to grow it.
How do we avoid those traps?
Yeah.
One of the articles mentioned due diligence,
Oh, yeah. Due diligence is crucial.
especially when it comes to investing.
Exactly. You have to really research an investment
Okay.
before putting any money into it. Don't just trust what someone tells you
Hmm.
or blindly follow the latest trend. Take your time, understand the risks, the
Yeah.
potential returns, and whether that investment even fits your goals.
That makes sense. It's like that saying, if it sounds too good to be true,
It probably is.
it probably is.
Exactly. You got to be a little skeptical when it comes to investing.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure, it's always a good idea to get advice from a financial expert.
Which leads perfectly into Lesson 8.
Oh, nice.
Seek the counsel of wise men.
It's so true. Nowadays, we're bombarded with financial advice from everywhere.
It's overwhelming.
Social media, news, even friends and family.
It's hard to know what to trust.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be careful about who you listen to. Find advisors who have a good track record,
Okay.
who are upfront about their fees,
Yeah.
and who put your interests first.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Or get a second opinion.
Exactly.
So it's not about blindly following someone's advice.
No.
It's about finding those trusted sources
Right.
who can help you make informed decisions.
That work for you. Exactly.
And finally, we're at Lesson 9,
Okay.
which might be my favorite.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Cultivate good luck through action.
I love that one. It completely changes how we think about financial success.
Right. It's not just about luck.
Exactly. The book says men of action are favored by the goddess of good luck. So luck comes from hard work, preparation, and being ready to grab opportunities when they come up.
So it's not about waiting for good things to happen.
No.
It's about going out and creating them.
Exactly. You got to take calculated risks,
Mm-hmm.
learn from mistakes,
Yeah.
and keep putting in the effort.
Yeah.
You make your own luck by being proactive.
Wow. That's a powerful way to end this deep dive. We've covered so much today.
We have. It's amazing how much we can still learn from The Richest Man in Babylon.
From managing our spending to making our money grow to protecting it and creating our own luck.
It really shows that these ancient principles are still so relevant.
They really are. And as you go about your day,
Mm-hmm.
think about which lesson resonated most with you
Yeah. Which one stuck out
and what one small step you can take
right now?
to apply it in your own life.
You don't have to do everything at once.
Definitely not.
Small changes can make a big difference over time.
Exactly. Thanks for joining us on this journey back to ancient Babylon.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We hope you've learned something valuable
Some financial wisdom.
to help you build a brighter financial future.
Absolutely.